Alright, boys and girls, so I figured I'd do a general overview. Kind of everything that I've done, where it started, a little bit about these tires and rims I got from Pure Off-Road. I haven't really done much of a review on those at all yet. So right now, I bought this thing May of 2020, May 19th of 2020. As of today, it has 1,738 miles on it, and I think it said like 124 hours, engine hours. So I mean, I do trail ride it. I do ride it hard sometimes, but also I use it for pulling the kids around the yard. I use it for pulling a lawnmower, pulling a lawn sweeper. You know, it's got the Inferno cab heater. It's got the spike upper doors. So it does idle sometimes just to keep it warm if we're out ice fishing or something. It'll get some engine hours just in doing that. So basically, yeah, I just want to give an overview of everything that I have, my thoughts. Like I said, it's been a great machine to me so far. No issues. The clutch or the belt slap thing, when I first got it, I think it first showed up at about 300 miles. It was the first time I actually officially heard it. I went to a G-Boost, world's best belt. That completely got rid of my belt slap. No issues. So I ran that for a couple hundred miles, 300 miles, I guess. And then I decided to go with the Gilliman clutch tune, and I put another new G-Boost belt on it just to make sure that I had a fresh belt for the extra power and the extra clutching. And super happy with both. Definitely more power. It'll run 82, 83 miles an hour. No issues on 32-inch carnivores or on these 32-inch terabytes. Both on 15-inch rims. The carnivores are on my stock 15-inch wheels, rims that came on the XP from the factory. So like I said, Inferno heater, one of the mods I did. Spike Motorsports upper doors, Power Sports upper doors. I did Razor Aid tender springs front and back. I got those from Aaron at 304 Off-Road. This set of tires and rims, along with one other set of tires and rims, I got from Pure Off-Road. These are MSA M12 diesels, 15-inch. I got Thumper Fab bumpers, front and rear. I did the Ford Escape from a Ford Escape rear window wiper on the front. I have GrizzTech guards, all the ones they make for the XP. Mine is a Ride Command Stage 4. The Inferno heater lets you keep the sub. That's up underneath the dash. I have a spring brake thingy. Show you that. Polaris lock and ride glass, front and rear. That's the spring brake thingy. Literally just push the brake down, move this over with your left foot, and you have a parking brake. No issues there. Thing works perfect. Light bar on the front. Come with my front Thumper Fab bumper. 2 light bars in this bumper from Thumper Fab, along with the KFI 3,500 pound winch. So as far as anything that I would do again, I think everything I have on this at this point really works good. I guess I don't have anything that I'm like, wish I didn't really have it. I've not tried any other different front or rear windows, obviously. I bought the Polaris ones when I was at the dealership. Decided to just do it all at once, be done with it. The roof comes on it. This is like I said, a Ride Command. So it has everything else, front and rear cameras, LED lights. You know, it's the XP model. It's got all the suspension stuff, 64 inches wide. I also have the Moto Alliance Denali 72-inch snowplow. So it's plowed snow this whole last year. I went to the 32-inch tires at 300 miles. I bought it brand new, obviously. So at 300 miles, I went to the 32-inch carnivores on my stock rims. I was happy with those. Like I said, then I went with the clutching, and now I went with these MSA wheels and Tuss Terabyte tires. Like the tires, excellent on hard pack, excellent on the blacktop, gravel. They're not super great in the mud. Obviously, they're not a mud tire. They are quite aggressive. The only thing that I do not like about them is on gravel roads. You're cruising on a gravel road, you can actually see it and hear it just flinging rocks. I don't know, it's just the right compound and just the right amount of gap in here that it picks up like every rock. So if you ride a lot of gravel, I would not recommend these tires with loose gravel. We have some railroad grades we ride every now and again, and it just constantly, I can hear it pinging, and you can see them flying over the cab and all over the place. People don't want to follow me because this thing just tosses rocks like mad. So I think I may actually end up going back to my carnivores, 32-inch carnivores on these rims. I love the rims. They look sharp. Sets it off a little bit. It's a little wider. From the outside of the bulge of the tire, the outside of the bulge is like 69 inches. I have not actually measured it to the outside of rim to outside of rim. I'm guessing it's pretty close to legal, to that 65-inch trail legal. Not any issues. The tires don't stick out really from the flares. I mean, maybe just a touch, but almost nothing. Yeah, so anyway, 1,730 miles. Never had an issue with it. I ride it fairly hard. Sometimes it's plowing snow, sometimes it's pulling trailers. Sometimes we just drive them like razors. I run with a lot of razors, Razor turbos, Razor high lifter, other generals, Rangers, you know, four-wheelers, you name it. It does everything well. It rides fantastic. Heater and radio, I use it all year round. No matter how cold it is out, there's always something to do. Go for a cruise. At this point, I have a wrap coming. That'll probably be the next thing that I put out. It's something I spent a lot of time on, something that the manufacturer of the wrap has spent a lot of time on. I think everybody's gonna really, really like it. At least I hope everybody does. I know I'm going to. And I'm working with a guy right now out of Texas who builds steel flatbeds. So that's going to be coming pretty soon. We're working in the design stages right now of that. One other thing I did is moved my stock rear camera up into the roof line. It was down in here. Great if you wanted to hook up a trailer to see your ball. Not really good for anything else. So where it sits up there, you can see everything behind you. You can see inside the box. Works out really well. So like I said, I have some other stuff coming, but at this point right now, I just wanted to give a quick overview of everything. How I thought of the tires, how I thought of all the components I've put on it so far, and I really don't have anything that I regret or that I, don't like, I guess. A lot of people ask about the upper doors. They don't fit like an automotive car door. The Generals have the tube roll bar, roll cage, ROPS, whatever you want to call it. They work good. They keep you warm. I mean, there's going to be some air gaps here and there. They're nothing major. With the Inferno heater, it's really not a major issue when it's cold. The wiper is, if you've never had one, which I'd never had a glass windshield before this, or any windshield. So going to glass windows and then with the wiper it's a complete game changer to have something that's enclosed like this. Like I said, when it's cold or it's raining, flip on the wiper, flip on the radio, turn on the heater, and just go. And with these terabytes, especially if you're on a hard pack, it's like driving a car. It's awesome. Suspension's fantastic. I got mine set up so it sits up a little higher than factory. The 304 off-road tender springs add 2 inches of height, so it'll pretty easily fit 33s at this point. I don't know if I'll go bigger or not. I really like the way it looks sitting on 32s, but I do think I'm going to go back to my carnivores just because I do get into a lot of soft spots. I do like the way they look. I like the larger voids and the treads. Obviously they're going to wear faster, kind of the name of the game, but I do get off-road a lot where I need the extra mud traction, extra soft traction tires. So I don't know if I'll put these back on my stock rims or what I'm going to do with these exactly for sure, but I do think I'm going to go back to the carnivores here in the next couple weeks, and I'm just going to test them. You know, I've had them both, but I haven't had the carnivores on the wider offset rims, so we'll see. These are 4+3s, so I'm just going to see maybe the extra stability with these tires is going to be better. I'm not really sure, but right now it handles like it's on rails. It really does. I mean, you wouldn't think a General to be a great handling machine, but this XP it really is. It handles super good. I come from Razors, and this was I went to buy a turbo, Razor turbo, and I saw this sitting on the dealer's floor, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do something like that yet. I really could use a dump box. I love turf mode. My dad's General, I had used turf mode before and in Rangers, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to slow down quite that much yet. But this really does offer you the ability to run nearly like a Razor as far as running it in the trails, set up properly, and still be able to pull a trailer with it and plow snow and close the cab easier, have some capacity of a box. I find myself more and more, the more I use it, the more things I find to use it for. And it's very capable off-road. In fact, I would probably argue with the wheelbase, depending on what you're doing with it, possibly even more capable than a lot of Razors, just because the wheelbase is a little bit shorter, but it gets around. It really does good. So I don't know if anybody has any questions, shoot them at me. If there's anything anybody wants to know as far as things that I've done or things that they want to see, I'm open. Like I said, working on a few other things, the wrap, the box, the flatbed, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, there's a few things that I'm still working on. I thought about putting exhaust on it, but I don't know if I want the extra noise level. I'd like to be a little throatier, but I don't want the extra decibels, because when you are doing work or you're cruising, down a hard pack trail, I don't really need to be any louder. You can still talk decent and listen to the radio. No issues there at this point. A few extra RPMs from the Gilliman tune. I did change around some weights on that in a video. Pretty happy with how that turned out. I think it's pretty dialed in at this point. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, things you want to see, things you haven't seen anybody do on an XP yet, I'm pretty open to trying some things and see how we can make this better. Got a lot of Rmax content coming up. Shane's going pretty deep with his. We're going to change up the weights. Weller Racing ECU. He went 32-inch carnivores, different rims, Alpha windshield. So that's all coming. Inferno heaters coming for that Rmax. And I'm hoping to try and get my hands on a Commander XTP, the new one, just to see what that thing's all about. So far I've not been able to find anybody who has one, or anybody that's I reached out to BRP, and they are said they're building them, but there's really nothing much out there at this point to even get my hands on to take a look at. But I will be doing some stuff with that as soon as I can find somebody who has one. I think it's going to be interesting to have 3 rigs kind of in this sport performance, sport utility segment, and every year they're going to have to keep getting better, all of them. Sometimes, you know, that's a good thing. Actually, all the times that's a good thing. Something new comes out, guess what? The next guy's got to step up his game a little bit. So that's good for everybody, because the machines just keep getting faster and stronger and more thought out, more comfortable. Speaking of comfortable, I think I may do the seat lowering bases. I've heard that it tilts them back like 5 degrees or something like that. Sounds like it's a pretty good mod. Gives you a little bit of extra leg room, which I don't need. I'm not a really big guy, you know, 5'9", 5'10", but a little extra leg room won't hurt anybody, and it tilts the seat back just a little bit, just enough to be more comfortable. So if you're cruising on a trail, you know, if you're a rock bouncer or something, maybe not, but I spend a fair amount of time in the seat of this. Like I said, almost 1,800 miles on it. So a few more things to add, a few more things to do, and here's to a project that's never done.